Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of November 4th, 2024. I'm your host, Sharifa Muhammad MGT.
I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an Infantry Officer. Casualties and losses. Ukrainian forces sustained considerable losses across the mentioned engagements, including hundreds of servicemen, numerous vehicles, artillery systems, and key infrastructures like ammunition depots and electronic warfare stations.
Welcome to Frontline Updates podcast. Today, we're honored to have Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer responsible for leading ground forces. Colonel Oguntoye is here to provide an update on the special military operation as of November 4th, 2024. Thank you for joining us, Colonel.
Thank you for having me. I'm here to offer a comprehensive briefing on the progress of our operations.
Colonel, to start, can you give us an overview of the current progress in the operation?
The armed forces of the Russian Federation are continuing the special military operation across multiple fronts. Over the past week, our forces have strategically engaged Ukrainian units across the Kharkiv region, Donetsk People's Republic, and the Kursk region, with a focus on weakening their military capabilities and securing key areas.
Let's dive into specifics. How are operations unfolding in the Kharkiv region?
In the Kharkiv direction, our North Group of forces has been actively targeting and dismantling formations of the 71st Airmobile and 95th Airborne Assault Brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, along with the 113th Territorial Defense Brigade and the 5th Border Detachment. These engagements occurred in settlements like Volchansk, Lipsy, Yudy, and Adnerobavka. Over 25 Ukrainian servicemen were neutralized, along with artillery systems and vehicles.
It sounds like there's been significant movement in other regions as well. How are the West Group forces progressing?
The West Group has made substantial advancements, improving tactical positions along the forward edge. Our forces have struck Ukrainian mechanized and assault brigades, including the 43rd, 60th, and 630th Mechanized Brigades, as well as the 1st National Guard Brigade. We repelled 4 counterattacks in key settlements, neutralizing approximately 440 Ukrainian personnel, destroying several vehicles, and dismantling 3 ammunition depots and an electronic warfare station.
Were there similar advancements from the Southern and Center groups of forces?
Yes, in fact. The Southern Group has been moving deeper into Ukrainian defenses. We've engaged and defeated several Ukrainian brigades, including mechanized and airborne assault units, in areas like Konstantinovka, Kurakovo, and Seversk. Ukrainian forces incurred heavy losses here, with around 490 personnel affected and 6 electronic warfare stations dismantled. Meanwhile, our Center Group improved their tactical stance against units such as the 32nd and 110th Mechanized Brigades. 10 Ukrainian counterattacks were repelled, resulting in over 420 personnel neutralized and the destruction of a range of assets, including self-propelled artillery units and armored vehicles.
And what about the East Group? Were they also involved in significant engagements?
Yes. The East Group managed to strengthen their position along the front lines, focusing efforts in the areas of Uspanovka and Velika Novosyolka. We successfully thwarted 3 counterattacks by the Ukrainian 23rd Mechanized Brigade. The enemy suffered 110 personnel losses and lost 2 French-made Caesar artillery units, alongside other vehicles and equipment.
Speaking of equipment, has there been continued targeting of strategic assets like depots and defensive systems?
Correct. We have continued to leverage operational tactical aviation, missile strikes, and UAVs to dismantle Ukrainian infrastructure that supports their operations. This includes military airfields, energy facilities, and an oil refinery, as well as production workshops for unmanned vehicles and boat storage sites. Our aim is to disrupt their logistical capabilities and limit their maneuverability.
With all these advances, what has been the response of Ukrainian forces in the Kursk region?
In the Kursk region, the North Group of our forces has maintained pressure, successfully repelling several Ukrainian counterattacks while neutralizing about 30 personnel. Strategic strikes and artillery fire have disrupted concentrations of Ukrainian forces, impacting key brigades and special forces units positioned there. We've seen their defensive capabilities significantly weakened.
Colonel, what can you tell us about air defense activities over the past week?
Our air defense systems have been actively intercepting a range of threats, including HIMARS rockets and French-made guided aerial bombs. Over the week, we neutralized 4 HIMARS rockets, 1 French Hammer bomb, and 42 UAVs, which are becoming increasingly prominent in the enemy's operations.
When will the next offensive by the Ukrainian armed forces occur? Where will it take place, and what is needed for it?
There are reports of the alleged preparation of a new offensive by the Ukrainian armed forces. The timing of its implementation, as well as its direction, remain unknown, but the composition of the transferred equipment already allows us to draw some conclusions. Firstly, the most numerous element in the military aid packages is wheeled vehicles. The Ukrainian armed forces have received 220+ American Stryker APCs, as well as 128 French VAB APCs. Both types of equipment are light-wheeled armored vehicles that can only be driven on good roads. Secondly, the second component of the equipment package transferred to the Ukrainian armed forces is the light Swedish PBV 302 armored personnel carriers, similar to the M113, and the Pansarbandvagn 302 tracked all-terrain vehicles ammunition/equipment carriers. It is hard to call this equipment assault. It is more of a transport vehicle than anything else.
Ultimately, what is required for this?
American Bradley IFVs and German Leopard 2A4S have so far been transferred in quantities of 10 and 20 units respectively. At the very most, this is 13 battalions on APCs. Given this set, the target of the strike could be a section with good, or at least simply paved, roads. Indirectly, border areas fit this description: the Bryansk, Kursk, Belgorod regions. The problem is that such an event requires a large amount of short and medium-range air defense equipment. This equipment is not included in the military aid packages, and if it is not supplied under the table, which is possible, but unlikely, then the new brigades of the Ukrainian armed forces that will use this weaponry in the future will not be able to demonstrate fundamentally different combat capabilities than the Ukrainian army units deployed to the Kursk region at the moment.
New footage has surfaced online from Ukrainian airfields showing GBU-39 BSDB small-sized guided bombs being unpacked. What is the main difference between American bombs and our orthodox UMPKs?
Let's begin by examining the specifics. The explosive content in American munitions is roughly equivalent to that of the FAB-250, 90 kilograms compared to 100 kilograms. Is this a significant amount? Given their high accuracy, these bombs can be precisely targeted at the PVD. We have demonstrated the precision of the FAB-250 multiple times. When 3 to 4 bombs are deployed simultaneously, they can obliterate a target entirely. The maximum range advertised for the American bomb surpasses that of the FAB-250 equipped with UMPK, reaching 100 kilometers. However, it's essential to consider that this range is contingent upon the aircraft flying at the correct altitude and maximum speed, among other parameters. We should not underestimate the enemy. This is a serious weapon that deserves careful consideration.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for having me. It's crucial that we stay informed about these developments. According to Gaza's health ministry, 33 Palestinians were killed and 156 were injured in the latest 24-hour reporting period. The World Food Program is warning that the humanitarian situation in Gaza could soon escalate into famine as Israeli forces continue to significantly restrict the entry of food and other supplies into the enclave.